And Deputy Minister of the Department of Defence and Military Veterans. Now, we're going to ask you the next question, Deputy Minister. I'm going to read a tweet here from Sammy Mashaba. Sammy says, arms deal, CAR killings, good story to tell up until 2007. All he expects today is just spinning and unheard of missions. There are a lot of people who feel that the image of the SANDF has been tainted, especially after the 2008 incident where we had soldiers marching in Cape Town and being unlawful. We understand that the image was really, it took a knock following such incidents, and people saying that they really don't believe in the SANDF, and yet we heard the minister saying that there's an attempt now to rejuvenate the force, a new design force coming up, a need for trained and skilled soldiers, making sure that they're well educated. Tell us a bit about this facelift, if I can call it that.
Well, it could be true that indeed we are not doing enough as a ministry and as the department to communicate the many good things that the South African National Defence Force is doing for this country. Because the incidents that you are making reference to, the number of people that were involved in that demonstration at the Union Building, it's a tiny fraction of a very huge establishment, a very big organization. And the discipline evinced by the soldiers who were involved in that protest at the Union Building is not typical of what you find within the South African National Defence Force. The overwhelming majority of an organization of close to 80,000 people is of disciplined soldiers. The many things that the South African National Defence Force, on a daily basis, year in and year out, that they are involved in and that they are doing, it's something which we take the criticism that we need actually to expose them more to South Africa's public. The point about the rejuvenation of the South African National Defence Force that you made reference to, it's a point that speaks to a number of aspects. One of the challenges, of course, that we have as the Defence Force is that we've got at all times to keep pace with the natural attrition effects on the number of the people that we have under our employ at any given time. Where the minister has, in her address, made the point that over the last 10 years, we have had a program wherein we're recruiting young people through the MSDS program into the SANDF. Not all of them, at the end of the training we provided them with, were able to be kept within the system because our salary budget does not allow for it. Others got contracts after the training, but others, of course, had to be laid off and to be utilized, of course, now and again as part of our reserve forces. That speaks to the need for us as a country to appreciate that to keep a rejuvenated force fit for purpose at all times, it goes with resources. The other area, of course, of rejuvenation is in relation to our reserve forces that, as you are aware, the minister said that they are being increasingly utilized in the duties of the SANDF, including peacekeeping operations. We have done a lot to make it a point that our reserve forces are rejuvenated. As we speak, we have no less than 21,000 men under that formation that are part of the Defence Force duties that we are executing as we speak. Thanks.
As briefly as possible, we're just about to take a quick ad break. Khomotso on Twitter seems to suggest that the soldiers that were on strike in Pretoria, as you rightly said, my mistakes for saying Cape Town earlier, that they're still on payroll despite not being at work. What became of the soldiers who were on strike? Quick answer.
The reason why they are still on the payroll is because officially the process of making offering them the opportunity to appear before the panels that are in charge of the hearings in order to effect corrective measures. Those processes are still on. That is the reason why they are still on the payroll. But the minister has actually, at the meeting with the generals last week, made the point that this matter must be speedily brought to an end.
It did happen in 2008. For them to still be receiving salaries up to date is what, 5-6 years down the line, and the disciplinary hearings and measures haven't come into place?
No,
correct me if I'm wrong.
It's not 6 years. No.
Okay.
It happened in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But the point that I want to make is that we, as a department, of course, have to do everything within the law. You're aware that there's been, on behalf of this group of soldiers, legal interventions made by SANDF, and we had to do everything in accordance to what the court said we must do.
Okay, so the matter is still unresolved.
That's the reason why they're still on our payroll.
Thank you so much. My apologies for interrupting. I'm hearing voices in my head telling me to take a quick ad break. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Stay with us.